LindsayAnn, and today we are making the #1 recipe that you need to have in your recipe collection with the best chocolate chip cookies ever. Literally, you guys, the best chocolate chip cookie recipe I have ever made. They have that sweet buttery flavor with a hint of vanilla, that perfect chewy soft center and crispy edges, and they are studded with classic semi-sweet chocolate chips. These are perfection. And if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, be sure to tap that subscribe button so you can be the first to see my all new videos. If you guys follow me on social media or you follow my vlog, you know that I have done tons of recipe testing to get these cookies just perfect. I wanted them not too thick but not too thin, not too dry and crispy but not too soft and greasy, not cakey at all. I wanted that perfect chewy center and those nice crispy edges and just substantial enough to sink my teeth into. Oh guys. Okay, I'm gonna go finish this plate. See you guys later. No, I'm just kidding. So first we're just gonna melt half a stick, which is 1/4 cup of unsalted butter in a small saucepan over medium heat. And we're just gonna stir this constantly until the butter eventually foams up and bubbles and turns a light brown color, giving off this amazing nutty aroma. And this is how you make brown butter. It's gonna take about 3 to 5 minutes. I have a whole separate video dedicated to how to make brown butter if you guys want more details on this. But it's basically what's gonna give these cookies that amazing, rich, caramely toffee flavor and really take them to the next level. And you can skip the browning of the butter. You can definitely just melt your butter in the microwave, but I promise you, don't skip this step. It makes them the best. Then just pour this into a little heat-proof bowl. And then I just like to pop it in the fridge to let it cool down a little bit. So once the brown butter's cooled down, we're gonna add it to a large mixing bowl with 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter that's been softened to room temperature, 2/3 cup of packed dark brown sugar, and 1/2 cup of white sugar. And we're just gonna beat this on medium speed for about 3 minutes until it's light and fluffy. And I like to use a mixture of the melted and the softened butter because the melted butter gives it that nice perfect chew, while the softened butter, when we whip it up, gives it that nice substantial thick texture that you can really sink your teeth into. Then we're gonna add 1 large egg and 1½ teaspoons of vanilla extract and just beat that right in. Now we're gonna get the dry ingredients together. So in a small bowl, just add 1 3/4 cups plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And just give this a nice little whisk together. Now we're slowly gonna add the flour mixture on low speed until it's just incorporated and forms a nice dough. And now comes the best part. We get to add the chocolate chips. So with our spatula, we're just gonna fold in 1½ cups, which is 9 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And this is your best ever chocolate chip cookie dough base, and here's where you can get creative. You can use any kind of chocolate chips you like. You can also add about 1/2 cup of additional mix-in like chopped nuts, M&Ms, chopped candy bar, whatever you like. All right, now we're just gonna scoop the dough into balls, about 3 tablespoons each onto a baking sheet. And my secret for making these look extra perfect is adding a few little chocolate chips right on top so they bake up nice and pretty. Now we're just gonna cover these and we're just gonna pop them in the fridge for about 2 hours, or you can do this overnight. And refrigerating the dough is really important because it allows for all the flavors to develop and gives time for the dough to absorb the moisture for a really flavorful, hydrated, and firm dough that's gonna give you extra rich, golden brown cookies that bake up nice and thick so they don't spread too much in the oven. All right, our little dough balls have had a chance to chill in the fridge, so now we're gonna pop them in a preheated 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 9 to 12 minutes, or until they're just set around the edges and nicely golden brown. Make sure you don't overbake them because we want to keep that nice chewy center. Now if you don't want to make the entire batch all at once, you can definitely freeze the dough balls for later use. Just take a freezer safe bag and label it with the instructions, and then you can just go ahead and store the dough balls in the freezer for a few months and take out a few at a time whenever you want to bake 1 or 2 cookies for yourself or a small batch for company coming over. Just add about a minute or 2 to the baking time if you're baking them frozen right from the freezer. And I also have a video on the perfect small batch of chocolate chip cookies, so if you want a little portion control and just want 8 perfect chocolate chip cookies and not an entire batch, be sure to also check out that video. Oh my goodness, you guys! Look how perfect these came out! We're just gonna let them cool on the baking sheet for 3 to 5 minutes before we transfer it to a wire rack to cool completely. All right, let's break one of these open. Oh my goodness, that chewy center and the gooey chocolate chips and that crispy edge. Do these not look like the best chocolate chip cookies you've ever seen? I wish I could give you some through the screen. Oh my gosh, waiting for them to cool a little bit, like the hardest part. I can't wait to give these a try. They have that perfect toffee caramely flavor from the brown butter. They're just thick enough, studded with chocolate chips, which I love, and the perfect crispy edge. And if you guys give these a try, be sure to tag me in a picture on social media and let me know what kind of cookie your favorite is. Do you like them thin and crispy? Do you like them thick and chewy? Or do you like them soft and cakey? I'd love to hear your favorites. Now, if you're not like me and you don't inhale the entire batch all at once, you can definitely store these in an airtight container at room temperature for a few days, or you can freeze them already baked for a few months. Just make sure you wrap them up well and pop them in the freezer. To me, these are the perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe, and I hope they become your favorite go-to recipe too. Don't forget, head on over to LindsayAnnBakes.com for the full written recipe and tons more that I know you're gonna love, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!